Hello everybody, this is Doll Dazzler and welcome to my channel. I'm going to be making some videos on ideas you can use when building settlements in Fallout 4. I'm going to go around to all of my settlements, but I'm going to start in Sanctuary Hills. This is the outside of Sanctuary Hills. And as you can see, it's really large. I kept building so much that I am no longer able to fast travel here. I have to walk in. So the first thing that I learned kind of early on in playing Fallout 4 and the building aspect of this game was to build industrial size water purifiers for the settlements that have a lot of water. And it's a really easy way to level up and also acquire the settlement sizes of materials that you will need to build. So I have 3 that I built on this side, and there's a whole bunch more on the other side of the bridge, and I'll show you that in a minute. This settlement has a whole bunch of houses, and so I'm only going to take you into a couple of those, and then I'll also take you into some freestanding buildings that I have made. When I first started building, I thought it would be a cool idea to give each settler their own house. And so I have made each of the houses a little bit different. And a lot of the items that you see, like this cabinet here, I was able to do that using the carpet technique. And if you don't know how to do that technique, please leave it in the comments below and I can make a short tutorial for you. The game Fallout 4 has been out for quite a while, so there's a lot of videos with tips and tricks, but if you still want me to make a video for you, I can. Off to the side over here, I made a mall. And I used a statue, waterfall statue, and I put some lights in underneath and some box lights and some plants. And on this first floor there's some stores and some seating areas for the settlers and some plants. And up on the second floor is a food court area, some sitting areas, a little bar area. And overlooking that when you go up is kind of like a balcony. And up on the top floor are the remaining stores and some bathrooms, the men and women's room. And something about the pictures, if you use the pictures that do not have the large wide frames on them, you will find that they fit really nicely. They're next to each other, on top of each other, and it gives kind of the effect of a wallpaper. In a lot of the videos that the gamers are building, I have not seen them use that technique, so that might be something new for you. And coming down out of here, I'm gonna go around the corner. These are just houses over on this side. I built a casino, the Hills Casino. And a lot of the ideas that I put together are not hard to do. And I don't use any mods. I use only the things that are available in the game. I like to push the game to see what it's capable of doing. So with this front part here, you can see on this bar, I had used that carpet technique and I pushed it into the concrete wall. Coming on in here, I used some TVs to resemble slot machines. And there's a statue over here, and I like to use a lot of cabinets while I'm building. And this is just a cabinet behind this statue that I turned backwards on a carpet and pushed it into the wall and then put some box lights around it. It gives it a really cool effect. Also over here in the bar area, I used that same carpet technique and pushed the lights into that bar You'll see that a lot throughout my settlements where I put the lights inside of bars or inside of cabinets, and it gives it a really cool effect. So up here on this floor, I did some seating sections and a pool table and a jukebox. Up here is just some more seating areas. And on the last floor is a bathroom. So as I'm going through the settlements, if you guys have any questions about anything that you see that you want to know how to do, just leave it in the comments below and I can make a short tutorial for you. Across the way there's the houses still. And I would like to take you in, this is the main house, I'd like to take you in there, but it is unfinished. The more that I built in Sanctuary Hills, the further along I got, the game started to glitch on me and it started to kick me out. And so I even had to remove some items in order to be able to travel here at all, even to walk in. So that's something to keep in mind when you're building, is that the more that you build, the more likely you'll have some issues with the game and glitching and having a hard time coming into the settlement to like return from a mission to talk to Preston Garvey. So back here, it looks like Cogswork is in my way. So I'll come back a little bit later and see if he has moved. Back there is a walkway with the rest of the water purifiers on the other side of the bridge. So I'd really like to show you that, but you kind of get the idea from that first side of the bridge. Over here, I made a nightclub called the Lux. And I'm not going to take you inside of that building because it's very, very similar to how I set up the casino. The levels in there, it's just seating sections to get up to the top level, and there's a bar area and a water fountain up there. So it's very, very similar to that casino, the bar area. But on the outside here, I used the steel roofing, that's the arched steel roofing, and then some box lights and some other kinds of lights. These box lights are very, very cool to mess with. As you can see, you can change the colors of them. When you're out of build mode, you can walk right up to the light and you'll see over there for the Xbox One, it's the A button. But you can cycle through a bunch of the colors that they have loaded for you and select the ones that that you want. You can make pictures, you can make words. So those lights are a really cool thing to add to your settlement. So I'm going to come around here, and back here, I'll take you into this house back here. So this cabinet here was the one that I had used in the casino that I had turned backwards behind that statue. So this is what the front of it looks like if you're wondering what that looks like when you go to your workshop to find it. And it's really cool to use that carpet effect as well because it leaves you a lot of extra room, a lot of walking room. And so if you want to add some additional things, it leaves a lot of space when you can push things into the wall. And also, if you have a hard time, like in this area here, I had a little hard time fitting the couches and the chairs together just because of how it's set up. So I used some carpets in there to kind of fit them closer together. And the further that you get in the game and you go and explore and do missions, you'll be finding some items like the bobbleheads and the magazines and all these collectible items. And in one of the magazines, the Picket Fences, every time that you acquire one of those magazines, it adds additional items that you can build with, which is a really cool thing. So in one of them is the plants. And the plants are awesome because they can like conceal things that you don't want to have seen. Like in this corner here, it conceals this skeleton. And it also conceals the front part of this generator. The generators can be pushed into the concrete or into a wall, but you still have to have this little end hanging out in order for it to hook to this conduit. So that's a really good way to just put a plant in front of it, and that way you won't have to see something that you're wanting to cover up or to conceal. Back here is also, there's another cabinet that I had, this area here was really messed up when I first came in here. So I lined the back of it with those pictures and then put some cabinets inside of there. And I don't know if you can see these little lights. I will talk about these little lights in one of my other videos that I have. I had just kind of messed around with those lights, and I'll show you that technique. It's just a hanging light that I was able to push into the wall, but I will show you a tutorial on that in one of my other videos. So that gives that really cool look. And then some plants, and this is a bedroom and another bedroom, and some cabinets pushed into the wall. And this is the bathroom. The further that I had gotten along in Sanctuary Hills, the less I was able to finish what I have started. So some of these buildings don't have lights. Like when I go over here, this over here is the hotel I had started, and I'm not going to even take you in there because there's nothing really in there. I had gotten to this building last and I was not able to finish. I was going to put some rooms up here and finish the hotel inside, but right now this is the best part of this building. So something really interesting, if you have a lot of patience with the game, you'll see that it's able to do a lot of really crazy stuff. So while building in here, most of the things that materials that you use will click together. But in some cases, if you are really patient with it, you'll see this light is like inside of the concrete, and it's really not supposed to do that. Even though it's clicked to this piece of wood up here, it really shouldn't be going into the concrete. So I just was messing around with the game just to see what it was able to do, and I was able to get those lights, and so it makes them look kind of like little sconce lights. I will also show you that in a tutorial video. And back here is the library that I made, the Hills books. And as you can see, I like to put a lot of different ideas together. I like to push the game just to really see what I'm able to do without mods, because I don't use mods. I really like to see what I'm able to do with what's available. So I was able to put these bars on top of each other just using that carpet technique. And like I said earlier, anything that you guys see that you want, you know, to find out how I did, I can make a short tutorial for you. So coming on into the library, I used a particular kind of lighting so that it has the mood of a library. And there's some seating areas, and then here's some empty shelves. And as you're going through the wasteland, you'll find a whole bunch of really cool things like teddy bears and aliens and the blocks and some little statues of Cogsworth. And these are great to fill the shelves with. I just can't bring them here because I can no longer build. And I'll just take you up to this floor. This library has 4 floors, and they all look very, very similar. So I'll just take you up to this one just so you can kind of get an idea. And some more shelving that needs some items on it. So coming back out of there, I'll give this over here where the water purifiers are one more chance to see if I can get in there past Cogsworth. And it doesn't look like it. He's having a little bit of an issue. So I could go into build mode and send him someplace, but I would run the risk of my game kicking me out because this settlement is so large. But just to explain, back in the back along the bridged water area, I have stacked the water purifiers together, and I have a lot of the settlements that have a lot of water. I have that same idea there. So I'll just show you that idea when I get to that particular settlement. I think Norhagen Beach is one of them. So when I get there, I'll show you how close you can put those water purifiers together. So those are some ideas in Sanctuary Hills. And if you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comments. And if you like this video and you like all the ideas, please like and subscribe. And thank you for stopping by my channel. And the next settlement I'm going to go to is Red Rocket.